that you are standing here speaks volume for your courage, strength, and determination to protect the civil rights of all Americans. I would like to say thank you on behalf of all LGBT servicemen and women, both active and veterans. Your show of support is very important to those who have chosen to make a huge personal sacrifice in order to serve our country under the shadow of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. At 18, I enlisted in the Navy because I felt it was a way to show my patriotism and be a part of something that I had always viewed as honorable. I loved everything about it, even the bad. I felt right in step with military life. Over the course of my service, I earned several recognitions, including Sailor of the Quarter and 2 Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medals. When it came to testing for advancement in rank, I scored in the top 2 and 3% of the entire Navy among those who were up for the same advancement. I was stationed in Italy when Navy life took a turn for me, as it did in my personal life. I realized I was gay. You see, when I signed the paper that said homosexual behavior or sexual orientation was not to be disclosed or acted upon, it didn't apply to me. I just signed away. No, not me. I was straight. 6 months later, I began to question my sexuality silently. I tried to ignore it, avoid it, deny it, and change it. I went through all of it quietly. I didn't have the luxury of confiding in my peers or seeking help through support services. Even the chaplain was out of the equation. And I definitely felt that I couldn't turn to my friends back home. It felt like I was isolated in a storm of feelings so foreign to me. The internal struggle I went through was immense. I didn't want to be gay, and I was fighting it. I heard someone once say, in a room full of people, I feel alone. I could definitely relate to that. When I finally told my friend back home, my best friend, that I was gay, she said, I already knew, I was just waiting for you to tell me. Always the last to know, right? During my time in the Navy, I always feared that someone would find out, and I knew that one moment of vindictiveness can end your whole career. It came to a point where I refused to have that hanging over my head day in and day out. That's when I truly started to completely see the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy for what it really was, how damaging it was, and how unfair it was. I refused to continue to live a lie and compromise my integrity. I was good enough to die for my country under the guise of defending our freedom and defending those that cannot defend themselves. As a citizen and a sailor, I was told that not only was I guaranteed the rights to freedom and pursuit of happiness, but that I had earned it, but not if I was gay. Despite all my contributions, I was not allowed to serve my country openly, nor was I going to be shown the loyalty that I had shown because of my sexual orientation. In November of 2005, I signed a disclosure statement and was discharged from the United States Navy under the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. Thank you. Thank you. When we did the tour visiting the offices of our federal officials, I was outraged to hear one of them say, Don't Ask, Don't Tell is working just fine. Working just fine, is it really? Is it working just fine for the partner of a fallen soldier who will not be formally notified, nor will they receive death benefits? Is it working just fine for the many that are too afraid to report hazing and abuse that occurs because this policy does nothing to defend them? Another representative told me that Daryl Issa was not about social issues. His main concern were economic issues. All right, let's talk money. Don't Ask, Don't Tell has cost our government between $290 million and $500 million. More than since its inception in 1984. What a waste. I also was told that unit cohesion was at risk if Don't Ask, Don't Tell was not in place. The total number of countries allowing openly gay service is 24. The U.S. and Turkey are the only 2 original NATO countries that still have bans in place. Research in those countries has proven that none of the countries with gay service members have been hurt by their non-discrimination policy. I wonder, when we ask our gay allies to support our efforts in Afghanistan and Iraq, do we tell them that they can leave their gay troops at home, that we don't want them? President Obama, simply saying, I will end Don't Ask, Don't Tell has little meaning to our 66,000 gay service members that are currently serving and being forced to lie about their sexuality as I once did. It does absolutely nothing for those who are facing a pending discharge for being gay. Their careers are in your hands. People who are willing to die for their country and make all the sacrifices that come with being in the military should at least be afforded the dignity of being themselves. I want to see a plan of action come to fruition and finally actually repeal this discriminatory policy. I'm tired of just words. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be standing here yet another year later demanding equality. I look forward to the day when we don't have to stand at a rally or physically show our presence in the offices of our elected leaders or outside our nation's capital.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Shouting for the right to live under the protections of the Constitution as citizens, regardless of our sexual orientation. I look forward to the day when LGBT servicemen and women can serve their country openly.
Yeah.
Mr. President, I defended my country, the Constitution, and your rights